Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. When the blazing sun is gone, when the nothing shines up.
Warning: this video contains extreme violence, gore, and graphic scenes. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. In a prison courtyard, a group of inmates are fighting. A man with a swastika tattoo on his head, Dominic, casually walks and hands a shiv to another. He then stabbed another man, and he collapsed on the floor. Because of this, they're all rounded up and put in a van to be transferred. En route to their location, Dominic had another inmate killed in order to get a guard's attention. Becky, at 13, doesn't appear to enjoy school life very much. She looks indifferent in her class. She and her father, Jeff, went on a road trip together where she actively ignores him. They pull over to a service station to get supplies and Becky shoplifts something. She started walking and looking around, the news briefly showing convicts escaping. The sight of happy families heading to their family reunion overwhelms her, so she steps out. She sat on the street and watches something on her phone. We learn that Becky's mother had been terminally ill. She smiles sadly at the memory. Back on the road, her father tries to smooth things over with Becky. Her mother's passing putting a strain on their relationship, but he couldn't resist bringing up her candy theft. She noticed they were going to Lake Sinclair and she got upset. It was their family vacation home and Jeff was selling it. When they arrived, however, Jeff confessed that he changed his mind and he decided to keep the house. But Kayla, Jeff's girlfriend, also arrived, which killed Becky's happy vibe. Kayla, realizing Jeff didn't tell Becky they were coming, Becky left them hanging. After escaping, Dominic stopped a car disguised as a police officer. He killed the father while Apex did the children, and they took the car. During lunch, Becky was in a mood, but more bad news is on the way. Jeff and Kayla decided to get married. Becky was livid and couldn't take it anymore, so she angrily left. Jeff followed Becky and tried to placate her, but she's having none of it. It's been only a year since her mom died, and her dad had moved on. She left and eventually made it to her clubhouse some distance away from the main house. Becky raged for a little bit until an old family portrait calmed her down. She remembered singing to her mother. She put back the painting and was looking around when she spotted an odd-looking key. The key looks ancient with what appears to be a Vulcanite symbol. Back at the table, Kayla is telling Ty for the nth time not to feed the dog under the table when the bell rang. After some time, Jeff left the fire pit and headed home. Dominic is in the house with a made-up story about losing his dog. He started picking on Dora's breed being impure. He mentions his dog being a Rottweiler and how you should never let them mate with other breeds. This creeped out Jeff and asked him to leave, but Apex suddenly appeared and stopped him. Kayla grabbed her phone and ran, but Apex caught up and snapped the phone in half. Kayla begged to be let go, and he kindly let the two escape. Becky noticed strangers stalking outside her clubhouse. Kayla and Ty were walking away from the house when Sunny and Roman caught them. Suddenly Dora came running to meet them, but Sunny shot the dog. They were soon brought back in the house, and while the thugs are looking after them, Dominic went down to the basement. Down in the dark, Dominic reaches for a hidden tin box, but it was empty. Becky was silently surveying the house and circled back to her old room. Apparently, there is a trapdoor in Becky's room going into the basement. She only had time to grab a walkie-talkie before Dominic came out the trapdoor. Becky barely managed to hide in time. Dominic learned there is a fourth family member because of Becky's backpack and phone. Then he tells Jeff that he's looking for the key. Seeing that everyone had no idea what's he talking about, he asked to speak to Becky. Jeff lied and said that Becky is not here but back in Atlanta with her mom. Dominic threatened him with a gun, but Jeff wasn't budging. He then brazenly shot Kayla in the thigh. He was going to shoot Ty next when Becky intervened through the walkie-talkie. She bluffs and says that she already called the cops. Dominic replied that he has her phone. Becky quickly replied that she went to the neighbors and used their phone, but Dominic didn't believe it since the closest neighbor is 1.5 miles away and the walkie-talkie signal won't reach from there. He was getting impatient, so he took Jeff outside and led him to the fire pit. Dominic asked a hidden Becky to look towards the fire pit. He asked her about the key, but Becky denied knowing about it. But he figured out she was lying, so he started torturing Jeff. Dominic passed the walkie-talkie to Jeff and gave him a shot at summoning Becky, but instead Jeff asked her to run away and escape. Dominic then continued torturing Jeff. Becky couldn't take the screams of her father anymore, and she ran back to her clubhouse to get the key. As she was running back, however, Jeff tried to escape and kicked Dominic away. He struggled back to his feet and slowly ran up to meet with Becky. But before she can do anything, Dominic caught up and shot Jeff dead right after he told her he loved her. An enraged Becky stabbed Dominic's eye with the key and escaped. Dominic and the rest met up back in the house and asked Roman to completely cut off his dangling eye. He used blunt scissors, which angered Dominic even more, so he did it himself. He ordered Sonny and Roman to go look for Becky. Sonny was out looking when he spoke to the walkie-talkie and alerted Becky. She then bolted back to her clubhouse for safety with Sonny chasing her. Becky reached the clubhouse and hid inside. Sonny tried to enter, but Diego said nope. He then tried to negotiate with Becky, telling her that he really wanted to leave and doesn't want anything else. He told her that if he got the key, then he'll tell the rest that Becky escaped. Becky agreed to the deal, but Sonny mistakenly referred to Kayla as Becky's mom, which infuriated her. In a moment of clarity, Sonny finally gave Becky her deadly resolve. She started packing a few things and headed out to the clubhouse roof. Becky tossed a coin to distract Sonny, and while he's looking for it, Becky descended down the zip line. She stabbed him with an edged ruler. As Sonny painfully yanks it out, Becky started stabbing him with sharp pencils. They fell on the floor, and she then picked up the ruler and stabbed Sonny in the neck. With Sonny lying helpless on the ground, Becky continued to stomp on the ruler, driving it even deeper. Sonny breathed his last as Becky looked on. Becky regrouped in the clubhouse, where she freshened up a bit. Dominic is having a little heart-to-heart with Apex. He's doubting Apex's resolve in their cause since he let Kayla and Ty go earlier. Dominic did a little pep talk with him and reminded him of their goal. They both reaffirmed their oath to the Brotherhood. Then Becky went back to the house and tossed back the walkie-talkie. She taunted Dominic and disappeared. He asked Kayla to help him talk sense into Becky. Kayla told him Becky is as vindictive as they come and will never listen to any of them. She wished him luck. Becky went to the docks and prepares a trap for her next victim. Meanwhile, Roman discovered poor Sonny by the clubhouse. Becky called out to him and ran, intending to be chased. She led him all the way out to the docks. Roman thought he had her cornered, but went and tripped on the line and fell right into a nailed plank. Becky hit him with another nailed plank. She hit him again, but Roman grabbed it and hit her with it. He tried to hit her while she's down, but missed. Becky mounted him, and he lost his balance and fell in the lake. Roman can't swim, unfortunately. Becky prepared the boat and starts the engine. With a crazed look on her face, she approaches a flailing Roman. She fed Roman into the boat's propeller and turned him into a bloody soup. On her way back, Becky came across Apex. Diego got out of the clubhouse and tried to attack Apex, but he knocked the dog down. Becky ran towards Diego to check, but Apex lifts her up and carries her away. She bit him and he let go, but now he's pissed. He gave her a choke slam and a gut punch for good measure. Apex briefly felt guilt from what he just did, and for murdering the other kids earlier. He gave up and told Becky that he's quitting the mission. He pleaded with her to do the same. She attended to Diego, and Apex went on his way. Night eventually fell. Becky went back to her dad and tearfully asked him to say hi to Mum for her. She went back to the house. It's time for the final showdown. Kayla asked Dominic what's the point of all this for just a key. Dominic started being preachy about how it's more than a key, and also how modern society blurs the racial purpose. Kayla insults his cause and he loses it. Just in time, the car alarm started going off before he can do some real damage. Dominic stepped outside to see what's going on. He checked out the van, and Diego got his arm. He breaks free and whips out his gun, thinking Becky is in the van. She's in another car, actually, and runs him over. But she lost control and crashes into a tree. Becky was woken up by the car's accident call agent notifying her that help is on the way. Becky got off the car and got something from storage. Dominic got up and lumbered towards the car, yelling for Becky. He said that he only wanted to talk. Suddenly he hears singing from somewhere. He made his way to the fire pit, and there sits Becky singing. She slowly stood up. He pointed out that she's now an orphan with no hope of adoption due to possible murder charges, and that he's all she's got now. Dominic recognizes Becky's potential and offers to mentor her. Becky appears to contemplate this, and yet Becky rejected his offer in fiery fashion. Becky couldn't follow through, and Dominic managed to pin her to the ground. He found the key on her neck and was about to shoot her, but Apex saved her in time. Apex again asked Dominic to let Becky go. Dominic promised Apex that they won't hurt another kid after Becky, but Apex insisted. Dominic deceitfully agreed, but got the gun and shot Apex. Becky ran away to the garage while Apex and Dominic fought. She started the lawnmower and drove towards the men. Apex jumped out of the way, but Dominic got mowed down. Becky took her sweet time giving Dominic a trim. When it was over, Apex apologizes to Becky for leaving her to deal with Dominic alone. She walked over, picks up the gun, and shoots Apex without missing a beat. With a final war cry, she lets out all her rage. She picks up the key and curiously stares at it, the thing that started it all. It's all over. Kayla got free and walked out and freed Diego. She found Becky sitting by the garage and joined her. Police finally came, as they always do at the end. Becky is being interviewed at the police station. She was being dodgy about it and lied about the gang's purpose and also with what she did. She fondled the key with renewed purpose and smirks in anticipation.